Welcome, friends. This is Archangel. This one is going to be rough. However, I have to address one of the keys to reclaiming your power as a male, a challenge which is paramount in achieving liberation from our male devaluing culture. Ready? You have to give up sex. To be more precise, you need to transcend your desire for sexual relations. You see, sex and/or the promise of it has been used to rein in males and manipulate their behavior since the beginning of time. Sex is a weapon used to enslave males. Sorry, but that is the sad yet concrete reality of it. Sex is the carrot and the stick which keeps you emasculated and compliant to the whims of females. The male desire for sex is what keeps them enslaved as whimpering shovels to the vaginisty. Spending your time desiring and chasing sex, and by extension, female affection and companionship, is what causes males to remain in blue pill hell, which is the matrix of gynocentrism, and later linger in purple pill purgatory, looking for the unicorn, the exception which will allow them sexual relations and some semblance of personal empowerment. Sex is male's Achilles heel. It is the Trojan horse infecting, then kidnapping male worth. Sex is the Judas betraying Jesus, the Brutus backstabbing Caesar. Male want of affection through sexual relations with females is the source of nearly all usurpation of male's infinite greatness. Just think of where our species could be if the innovators of planet Earth were putting their creative energies into discovery rather than chasing skirts and bowing before the divine feminine to receive their daily pat on the head. Since males have imagined, discovered, and built everything we know while chasing female approval, just imagine where we could be if males fully devoted themselves and their brilliance to innovation and discovery. If this scenario had happened years ago, I could very well be speaking these words while on vacation off-planet. If males of generations gone by had chased knowledge rather than breasts, and space exploration is much more a prize than any 15 seconds of vagina rental. Sexual eschewment turns out Teslas. Sexual surrender turns out manginas who wear pink and walk in high heels around college campuses to demonstrate for female causes in order to win female approval in hopes of getting laid. Sexual renunciation turns out the likes of Da Vinci, Nietzsche, Michelangelo, Newton, Tesla, Pythagoras, Plato, Aristotle, Beethoven. Sexual pandering turns out the losers at the club who will harass and abuse other males to show off and chest thump to impress females. Sex perusal is the factory that churns out manginas and white knights. In fact, many, including Freud, believe that sexual indulgence and genius could not share a cab ride. Indeed, I am inclined to believe genius is a seed within all males, and sexual desire is an impediment, a dimmer switch, which degrades inherent male brilliance. One cannot serve two masters. Either you serve the vaginisty or yourself. There is no purple pill middle ground. You chase vulva and jump through hoops to get attention, or you pursue your own desire and abilities, and the discoveries you make by caring for yourself will benefit the world far more than simply another simpering male prostitute selling his worth just to get female approval, letting his genius atrophy because he spends the entirety of his time thinking, scheming, or pursuing sex and winning female validation. Oh, I know, guys will fiercely attack me for even suggesting such an absurdity. Give up sex. Are you crazy? I'm sure there are players and pimps who bang 20 different females a week, and they think they are in control. But even they are slaves to a system which devalues them, because the underlying truth is males pander to females to get sexual affection. The reason males will not relinquish sexual desire is because somewhere on some level they receive validation from females. Even studs and players receive their self-image, their self-worth, and ego boosting based upon all the females they bang, or all the females they pretend are fantasizing about them in the shower. They are still defining their value through females, point blank. I know this is a bitter pill to swallow, but there really is no other way to state this. The key to male liberation and empowerment is to transcend sexual desire. Many males will express disapproval for the injustices of male devaluation and misandry and carry the men's rights flag high and proud. Yet to suggest revocation of sexual appetite? Suddenly, most males are clamoring to plug themselves back into the matrix and mock or shame other males into doing the same. Sex is a multitudinous item and will take a couple videos to discuss. So I will let the initial shock sink in with this video. We will move on to different facets in succeeding videos. Still, for anyone that truly cares about male empowerment, this realization is perhaps a depressive epiphany, yet it is an inevitable conclusion. For years upon years of countless time spent in contemplation of misandry, gender relations, male devaluation, and the searing animosity between the sexes, this is ultimately the only action which will affect change between the sexes. When males stop soliciting sexual affection from females, it will force females to alter their treatment of males and bring more to the table than simply temporary access to a couple minutes of fun. I mean, really, when you take away sexual affection, what do females really offer males? Believe me, I do not take this observation lightly. I, like many male activists, have struggled with this for years on end, trying to reconcile a demand for male empowerment while seeking self-worth through females. Ultimately, the answer is this: transcendence of sexual desire is the death blow that will end male devaluation so epidemic in our modern world. I know. What? Give up sex? This guy is loco. He must be some ugly, pathetic loser who cannot get a date, and so now he wants everybody to be miserable with him. However, when you logically consider this proposition, you will see the salvation it offers. When you overcome your addiction to crack, there is no longer any reason to seek out the drug dealer, and you begin to see drug dealers for what they really are: simply pushers who want your money on a repeated basis, yet care nothing for your welfare. You begin to realize that you never needed the dealer. They are the ones who need you. Realizing this dynamic gives you back your power. Likewise, when you disarm females, their most potent of weapons, sexual flirtation, then you begin to look at male-female relations in a whole new light. Take away the weapon of another, and they cease to cause you harm or control your behavior through duress. This realization is a Purple Heart that many males earn after countless years of struggle and personal harm incurred doing battle in the trenches. Most males on some level do realize sex as a manipulation, yet they will zealously deny this truth, and most will take their obstinacy to the grave, proclaiming with vehemence their insistence that females give their life meaning. Guys attach their self-worth and life purpose to females, and will categorically deny the shark fin in the water trailing their surfboard. But why should males admit reality? I mean, asking a male to renounce his desire for physical intimacy is like asking a bird to deny its desire for flight. The solicitation of affection is hardwired into our DNA as well as our souls as males. Under the weight of such overwhelming biological and social pressures, most males would rather take a bullet to the brain pan than contemplate an existence devoid of female affections. And males throughout history have done just this. Unable to change their perceptions and find meaning without a female, legions of distraught men have fallen on their swords, or jumped off of buildings, or swallowed cold steel barrels, all because of females or romantic heartache. They still do this with increasing numbers. This speaks to a deeper dynamic at work here. it is not simply a couple of minutes of doggy style over the kitchen table that males seek. Rather, they long for romance, for the emotional affection. Guys, romantic? Yeah, most guys will categorically deny they feel a deep-seated longing for romance, because it's somehow uncool or unmasculine. And besides, aren't women the romantic ones, watching sappy movies and ingesting romance novels by the dozens? Yes, this is what our misandristic society would like us to believe, that males are simply indifferent sex machines, feeding their selfish desires with the consumption of tender, delicate females who are humbly and benevolently just seeking romance. Yeah. In my vast observations and journeys into human behavior, I find this not to be the case. Much like an iceberg whose true depth lies beneath the surface, male emotionality and beauty lies beneath the surface. Many males may exhibit a few guarded emotions above the water's surface, yet below they have a depth of caring that many may never know. So I find the old paradigms to be reversed in relation to reality. Males desire romance and affection, while females are methodically pursuing self-interest, such as offspring or financial stability or personal security to shield them from life's hardships, like manual labor. Males are compelled by society to be stoic, to swallow emotion and project strength. So you probably will not get the guys at the gym, or the guys hunting, or the guys working on the 72 Chevelle after watching a football game to admit they like gentle caresses as much as, sometimes more than, the simple act of sex. Overcoming one's instinct for sexual affections is the hardest thing to achieve. It really is a make or break red pill for most males. The difference between servitude and liberation, between true male empowerment and lip service, is transcendence of sexual desire. I know how hard it is. It is especially hard for a Western male in modern society to achieve this. I mean, those who have never known sexual pleasure have it a bit easier, such as monks. But for those of us who live in Western culture, who have tasted sexual affections, and who see sexuality sold everywhere from porn to seductive magazine covers, living with all this yet rising above it is a monumental achievement requiring Herculean strength. Hence, many males simply choose not to complete this last step towards their own empowerment. Hey, I understand why. I have been men's rights for years and years, but only very recently have I truly become Mgtow by finally embracing this truth instead of fighting it and holding out for the right one somewhere out there. It is a harrowing, heart-wrenching journey to the reclamation of male power, because it means scrapping happiness and fulfillment through a female and finding purpose and fulfillment in life without a female. Many males will say they can enjoy sexual relations and autonomy at the same time. Okay, if you can have one chip or one donut and leave it at that, if you can have a sip of beer and then promptly put it down, hey, that's great. But most get one chip, one sip, and it is enjoyable to the point where they want another. And then what the heck, how about another? And fall back into servitude with the things they desire at the same time they pretend they are in control. I know. I have been there, done that. Tried every variation possible, no dice. Until you attach your self-worth and life purpose to yourself and away from any female, until you transcend your screaming desire for sexual affection, you are never truly free. Again, this is so hard, believe me, I know. I am walking the walk. I have not had relations for many years. I was musing with the guy at the gym the other day. I think I forgot how to kiss. It's been so long. Interesting thing was, I mused about this fact in a reflective way. Not a poor me, I haven't been kissed or desired by females for years, and I'm a pathetic loser. No, I simply laughed it off like it was a curiosity. So, guys, the desire, the challenge of this does improve with time. Trust me. I have not renounced sexual pleasure. It is simply a solo gig now. Oh yes, I know, people will mock me all day long. Really? You give up sex and just masturbate? Yeah, you are such a loser. Males especially are ruthlessly mocked if they choose masturbation over sex with a female goddess incarnated on Earth. Are you high? Huh, okay. Who is more insane? The male who seizes back his power and loves himself emotionally and physically, or the guy who devalues himself and panders to women in order to commit himself to heartache and servitude, all for 3 minutes of reverse cowgirl on the living room rug? Yeah, I would much rather choose to masturbate and be empowered than be a miserable, emasculated puppet who really doesn't get sex much at all, despite what he tells the guys at the bar. Moreover, there are many wisdoms that declare male ejaculation depletes males of their life energy and vitality. The more often you carelessly waste your seed because you think a huge money shot is tough and manly, you simply waste your life essence, your vitality on nothing. And when you are with a female, you waste your life essence and energy on a partner who couldn't care less about you or your welfare. Males bleed themselves of vitality for women in every conceivable way, including ejaculation. Now, whether you label that vitality as chi, or whether you simply label it as a loss of vital nutrients from the body, the point is, male ejaculation wastes male vitality, and some theorize that this contributes to males' earlier demise, because they make withdrawal after withdrawal after withdrawal from their life force checking accounts with very few deposits compared to females. This doesn't have to be the case. You can experience orgasm without ejaculation by learning to separate the two. Yes, they are separate events. It's worth studying for yourself. However, masturbation is still a better option than the emasculated slavery females offer. You can take this power back even if you're already in a relationship. Simply stop sex. When she sees that you cannot and will not be manipulated by the monthly 2-minute missionary sessions, she will be forced to step up to the plate and modify her behavior when you cease to pay the bills or do the manual labor or obey her every whim out of fear. This really is the only way to seize back your power as a male from females. Deny sex to females, and females will be compelled to come to you on your terms. Okay, so, lot to think about here. I'll let it sink in. There is a lot more to say on this topic. Just know that liberation is worth it. Stand with me. Live free.